Hello and welcome to this episode of Point Counterpoint. We are here as always to discuss and deliberate issues of great importance. Again, as most times we are here because there are serious concerns that have been raised after a recent assault on a Gram Sabha member of Anjuna, Dr. Inacio Fernandez, who of course is also a very active anti-noise pollution activist fighting constantly and diligently against various units indulging in blatant sound pollution. Allegedly, and it's been proven so along with observations from the court, with the connivance of the local police and the authorities. And it so happened that in the previous Gram Sabha on Sunday, he went there to raise these issues and ask the basic fundamental question as to why many of these units that were red flagged as having continuously violated noise pollution provisions were allowed to function without they being shut down as the court has ordered and flagged. And that was all that was that he went to do. Apparently, not apparently, we know now that when he went there, he was brutally roughed up. And there was a beginning of a hint of more serious violence. Of course, people intervened and stopped it. However, there's been counter allegation by Gajanan Tilve, the alleged assaulter, who went to the extent of saying, no, this is not really why this happened. This is something that was a reaction to Dr. Inacio's first action of roughing him up and mini assaulting him or whatever, as a result of which this was done out of reaction. And this was also done because Dr. Inacio apparently goes to different bars and restaurants even at 7 p.m. and shuts down places by force, which leads to the lack of which leads to business people in and around Anjuna to suffer, especially locals who sell tea and cigarettes in and around these parties. And he felt that this is being done essentially to teach Dr. Inacio a lesson for affecting people's businesses. Anyway, I'll just broaden the scope of this. This is not a discussion only on this, because the larger issue here is that he was in a very secure, supposedly secure environment called the Gram Sabha meeting. And Gram Sabha meetings are supposed to raise people's issues. It is not a mere assembly of people. It's a place where people have a right to discuss, deliberate, and look at issues, and also watch the functioning of the panchayat. Now, this appears to be some kind of a trend where everywhere, when people's issues are raked up by activists and other people, concerned people, there seems to be this very disturbing trend of some kind of violent tactics used to shut them down a lot. And we have witnessed this everywhere, in Talegaon, in Kandoli and others. So, and that is what is a larger issue here, is if the Gram Sabha cannot be a safe place for people's discussion and people to raise their voices, then ultimately the grassroots democracy gets undermined and crushed and ruthlessly brutalized in a very shameful manner. We have with us three very eminent stakeholders of the subject that we are speaking of. Anna Fernandez is she's more than a social activist, very veteran member of the Gram Sabha in Anjuna, who was also an eyewitness to this horrific incident that happened last Sunday. Cecil Rodriguez is also a political activist, former candidate for the assembly elections of Talegaon, and takes up local issues almost by the hour, if not by the day. And Roshan Matthias, of course, he's the director of the Moog Foundation, again a very diligent member of the village body, and somebody who doesn't shy away from calling a spade as far as people's issues are concerned. Before we speak to them, let us quickly cut to the video of the alleged assaulter actually saying that he himself was assaulted first. Let's play that video quickly.
Gram Sabha सुरू जावच्या पयली जेन्ना हांव भितर सरतालो ग्राम सभेक, बिफोर द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ ग्राम सभा, थंय वो इनासियो फेर्नांडीस म्हणटा हो मनीस म्हाजे कडेन तोंडार पयली बाचाबाची करपाक लागलो. खंय तरी वर्बल अब्यूज केलो आनी म्हाज्या हाताक ताणें धरून म्हाका धुकल्लो. हो डाग लागला तो अजून तुमकां दिसतलो हांगा. आनी हे सगळें जाल्या उपरांत म्हाका खंय तरी दिसलें की ग्रामसभा बऱ्या भशेन सुरळीत जावपाक जाय. हांवें सोडून दिलें. हांवें 2-3 जाणांक म्हटलें पण आसूं म्हटलें सोडून दिलें. पण जेन्ना ग्रामसभा चालू जाली आनी हो जो इनासियो फेर्नांडीस आसा हो खरें म्हटल्यार स्वताक एक्टिविस्ट म्हणून प्रोक्लेम करता, बट ही इज एन एक्स्टॉर्शनिस्ट. हो लोकांच्या रेस्टॉरंटांनी वचून तेंचे परमिशन आसता, तेंचे कडेन सावंड परमिशन आसतना तो 7-7:30 ह्या टायमार तेंच्या रेस्टॉरंटांचेर वयता, तेंच्या गेस्टांक तो थंय हॅरेस करता, तेंचे रिकॉर्डिंग करता, विच इज ब्रीच ऑफ प्रायवसी. हे सगळें करून तो खंय तरी हांगा ट्युरिजम आमचो जो पोट चलता आमच्या लोकांचे हे खंय तरी ताका पाड घालपाचो ताचो षडयंत्र आसा.
It goes on and on, but I think this is the essence of what he has said. Anna, since you were there, please react to what he said.
He's saying that he was assaulted before the Gram Panchayat could start. But when we entered, he was not there. If he was there before, he's saying as per his words, he should sit inside. Why he is standing outside? Because there was ample of space inside the Gram Panchayat. If he was present first, then he should. That is what I am saying.
Okay, I take that point. The other issue that he says that Dr. Inas, apparently he is alleging that he is an extortionist. I'm just going by what he is saying. And then fact that he goes to bars and restaurants and video records and tries to shut them down even at as early as 7 p.m.
No, not at all. See, what has happened, I am a quiet person. I don't want disturbance. We don't want noise. So that is what he heard. I heard. Many of us heard, and we went there. We told them in a nice way. See, we don't want any noise. You reduce. As per the tourism law, whatever the 16 point which is there, it says it is a shack. It is a restaurant. 50 watts are supposed to be put in your restaurant.
Right.
I'm just talking about the tourism. The points they have given.
Right.
Go according to that. We don't have any problem. We are living on tourism. We want tourism. We are not against the tourism. That is what I want to say on this point. And we did not take any money from anyone. If they have proof, they can prove it.
Okay, Cecil, the larger issue that we have here is the fact that this seems to be some kind of a trend in different Gram Sabhas. Sure. And there have been, and this is not an isolated incident, where people wanting to raise issues are either roughed up or stopped or whatever be the case. I'm not getting into whether Dr. Inas had abused him before or not and what happened later. That is for the courts to decide. Let the law take its own course and decide. But the fact that Inas was roughed up is completely clear as far as video evidence is concerned. But anyway, let investigations happen. Cases have been filed, complaints have been filed, an FIR has been lodged as far as Dr. Inas's report is concerned. We'll get into it. But the larger issue of violence in Gram Sabhas, what do you have to say there?
I think so. This has been a constant thing that's been happening for every Gram Sabha. The main thing is, what are people's issues? Like, what we see. Like, especially if I take an example of our Taligaon. Our fields are almost destroyed. Our hills are like, every time, somewhere or the other, there's a hill cutting happening, or there's a new construction. Or recently we had, put to revoke a resolution which was passed where construction licenses, where panchayat also is given NOC right in the middle of the field, where there is no road access.
Right.
So when this type of things we put in our letters, the panchayat gets to know in advance. So when they get to know, they know that we are going to be raising certain issues like this. And they come with a forceful of people that, who don't know head or tail what is happening, about the village. But because, I don't know whether they're getting paid for it, or because, they want to show like majority, or just whoosh us down, which has happened to me in the previous Gram Sabha, where I was whooshed and booed when I was like raising up issues, even to put a resolution saying that we don't want a 10-meter lane in our village. It's a village, keep it 6 meters, not more than that. For this type of things, this has been regular happening, and people fighting, people in Gram Sabha, or even in our Gram Sabha, we have had where Gram Sabha members have been pushed and attacked like this. This has come directly on it has gone viral right now.
Right.
But during that time, our panchayat was not recording anything.
Right.
And we were self-recording, and that's how the whole process. But this is ridiculous that is happening in all our panchayats and Gram Sabhas, because they want illegal activities to take place. They want, people, they want them to make money. Now, who is higher than them? Whether there is an MLA involved, whether there's a minister involved in, getting these things done, and they don't want citizens who come to Gram Sabha, raise these issues. Because we are talking for the betterment and the future of the villages.
But if the common man is interested in the village being protected, so when then how do these people who rough you up or create problems, how do they manage to do it, especially if the village is united in favor of the village being protected?
See, the one thing is also that, you don't have a lot of citizens coming forward for Gram Sabhas. Now, if you see, we have a 30,000 voters in our constituency.
Right.
And out of that, say around 15,000 are panchayat people.
Right.
How many people really turn up?
Right.
How many people are residents of, from the village who actually should come forward and participate? We are inviting doctors, we are inviting engineers, we are inviting educated people, because we have seen even how a poor person can be harnessed and trashed, and we have to stand by them. You won't believe it. People get so scared to come to a Gram Sabha. It's like, amka yopa, then amka tras kottate.
This is a very important thing that you said. It's very sad to hear this.
But
that
this is what is happening.
if people are afraid to go to Gram Sabhas, then why are we talking about the 73rd Amendment and grassroots democracy? Now, shall I bring you in here? See, there are two things. I'm just going by the simple textbook definition of what the Gram Sabha needs to do. I mean, this is as simple as a class 7 civic student will read this. Okay, I'm going only by that, not complicating matters. Okay. See, the thing is, it says Gram Sabha is the fulcrum of Panchayati Raj and village development. People use the forum of the Gram Sabha to discuss local governance and development and make need-based plans for the village. That is the first function. Secondly, it supervises the functioning of the village panchayat. Very important. It supervises the functioning of the village panchayat. Okay. It approves the annual budget of the panchayat. Very important. And thirdly, it reviews the performances of the Gram Panchayat. So, if anybody like Dr. Inas or Cecil or Anna or you, when you go and raise an issue, that invariably comes under the purview of you all reviewing the performance of the Gram Panchayat if they've done something wrong. So, your comments on this?
So, very rightly said. See, the thing is, the Gram Panchayat or the village Panchayat as we call it, is not something that the state government has formed, or it was people's decision that it should be formed.
Right.
This is the very basis of the Constitution of India, which actually segregates a panchayat, saying it is the local self-government.
Right.
These words are not small words. First thing is it's local, second thing it's self, third it's government. These three terms are very heavy terms that the Constitution holds for us. And under that there are several provisions under the Constitution that give us so many rights and duties of the panchayat. Now what happens is, whether the question of local first, self and government is there in this panchayat is a huge question. One thing is that the locals are supposed to come. What happens with the locals is, many of them want to cross boundaries, and it is difficult. I always keep saying in all my debates or everywhere I go, today the Goan person is not able to sustain in the boundaries of what was given to him by his ancestors, simply because generations have increased, children have got married, in-laws are coming, children are there. So you need to expand. So what a panchayat does, even though they can give legal permissions, they will say it is not possible and make it difficult. Reasons being two. One is you put the money on the table and you will get the legal permission. Second, you do it illegal, because anytime there is something wrong, your mouth should be shut.
Right.
Now these people, out of helplessness, have to take this choice, because there is no other thing. Where do they go? You think these people will come to a Gram Sabha and voice anything against the village? They rather suffer and die in that four walls rather than coming, because there is no option. And this, the panchayat has got a long-term planning, and it's not only at the panchayat level. Today when you see local self-government, self means it should be our people, our ward members. Today all ward members are backed by the parties.
Right.
Why is that? Today, the equivalent of an MLA spending to a candidate spending to become an MLA, or which is the official figure of 20 lakhs, the same amount is being spent by each ward member in his ward.
Right. For a ward election.
Ward election.
Yes, right.
Each ward member, that means if there are 11 ward members, 20 lakhs into 11, all being supported by the local.
See, very vital, very important points. My question, response to that is that this is a very, very bad diseased ecosystem which all of us unfortunately are aware of. The point here is, the Gram Sabha is a bigger universe than the panchayat. The panchayat is is a planet within the Gram Sabha universe. Let's put it this way. Okay, arguably so. The point here is that why can't the broader universe control a rogue planet?
So one reason is that, as I just said, you are told to shut up.
Right.
Okay, that's because of the illegalities, so-called illegalities you have done. The second thing is when you speak there, now when you said that the Gram Sabha is supposed to supervise the Gram Panchayat.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Right.
the Gram Panchayat is the elected members along with the secretary who's there, who's placed by the government in our Panchayat.
correct.
So he's the only outsider actually. Now what happens is the Gram Sabha, as per the law, as per the Goa Panchayat Raj Act and rules, section 5 says that Gram Sabha is supposed to constitute. Now I use supposed to, but it is not written may. It is written shall constitute.
Yes,
That
yes.
means it is mandated that every Gram Sabha shall constitute 2 supervisory committees.
Right.
These supervisory committees, as per that law, is supposed to overlook the works of the Panchayat and produce a report before the Gram Sabha as an update of the works that were taken up by the Panchayat.
Right.
Now, I'm happy to say, or rather proud to say, that in entire Goa, no Panchayat has got a supervisory committee except Kanduli. And that's because I read that and I fought for it. What happened was, when we constituted the supervisory committee, all the 11 ward members were part of the supervisory committee, which I objected.
Right.
How can you supervise yourself?
Absolutely correct.
It is against natural justice or against a law of the land, or law by itself. So when I said this, they said, you show us where it is written. Sorry to say, but I failed that day because the law did not back me up. So nowhere in the Panchayat Raj Act is any composition of the supervisory committee.
But that is supposed to be done by the state government through rules.
Exactly. Now when I went to the director of Panchayat and we placed a letter before them and I explained, the director of Panchayat itself was surprised that we have something called supervisory committee. I think Cecil was there for that meeting with Elsa and all of us went.
Yeah.
And she was surprised that there is something called supervisory committee, and I said, let it be. If there is nothing known, at least let's work towards it, because this keeps the Panchayat in control.
Right. Right.
We do not want to abuse, or we do not want to be policemen, but since there is law, there has to be a balance also. It
Correct.
cannot be
Sure.
arbitrary or
Sure.
unreasonable. So this is the situation. So how does a Gram Sabha actually supervise when the committee is not there? Now this committee has to actually form a report before the next Gram Sabha, giving an update to the Gram Sabha people when they come, when the members come. They are supposed to update what were the issues that were discussed in the Gram Sabha, where have we reached on that issue,
Right.
what are the works that are taken up by Panchayat, what is the quality of works, everything has to be. But this doesn't happen at the supervisory committee meeting.
Correct.
All that happens is they discuss new issues, they discuss which roads have to build, do you all have any resolutions that need to, this is.
Cecil, coming to you, just if you could just respond to what Roshan is saying, and on my question to you here is that, look, the point is this is an existing situation that is there.
Yes.
And the point is, do we have a solution in mind, in the sense that right now, instead of, of course we can talk like this till the cows come home, and we should talk, but I think what is even more vital is to have a project where we remove this fear from the minds of people. At the end of the day, if going to a panchayat becomes so fearsome, then there is nothing that there's nothing that we can do. So in the sense that, what can we do to ensure that the Gram Sabha becomes a safe place for people to go and actually raise their voice?
I think so. You all have seen what happened in our Talegaon Panchayat
Yes.
elections. That's
Yes.
the whole thing, where the solution is the Panchayat members should change. The same people are there, the same party people are there, and we saw our Panjim MLA openly campaign for the Talegaon Panchayat elections. So they are all their people. And he was so confident of winning, saying that we are going to win. And if you see, the people also in majority got them elected. Out of the 3 people who put in their nominations were forcefully asked to withdraw.
Right.
My proposer was kidnapped. He went missing.
This is the panchayat election. Yes.
Panchayat
Yes,
election.
right.
So if we want to fight the battle, solution is that people vote for a change. People actually have the power to bring in the change, and people don't know their power. But what happened, it has to work in majority. But in today's time, as Roshan said, everyone has done some way or the other illegal activities. So in case, whatever reason, if they don't win, they come down hammering at them, breaking their houses, breaking their walls, where we can see now certain sections of Goa where certain large places in the villages are being demolished for whatever reason. God only knows right now. But in our village, that's the situation. And every time it is a battle for survival over there. whether we have a water crisis in our village, whether we are saying also, we've taken resolution saying that to please stop any further construction before this is sorted out. Yet constructions are happening. Yet now, as I told you earlier, there's a morad where there's a full permission given. So how do we act on it? And secretary, as he said, is an outside person into the village, is directly saying, no, we are not going to accept your resolution. He is doing the dadagiri over there. The secretary is doing. We go to the director of panchayat, ma'am, she's there, but she doesn't have a voice. If you go to her, she's poor thing, like a babdi hatinga, made to sit on that chair. No action is taken. Last time, the previous Gram Sabhas, both my resolution were forcefully not accepted.
What were your resolutions?
One was the 10-meter road extension, which we said that we do not want 10-meter roads in the village.
Yes.
Because we can see that from 3 stories, then 5 stories, now it's going to 8 stories.
Correct.
Open spaces are getting converted. Open, green spaces are also getting cut down and converted into skyscraper buildings now. So this was the resolution which he refused to accept. Then the other resolution was regarding the 39A, saying that to back. That also he refused to take. And even when I asked, there's a hill cutting that has happened. Last 2 years I've been asking for a joint inspection. He says no, it's not. It doesn't come. You go to NGPDA. Now when we as a local body, if we have issues, we have to go to our local panchayat and place a complaint. And if you are not going to accept that complaint and do a joint inspection, so where are we headed? This is gundagiri and dadagiri that's happening. Now the only way is director of panchayat is not taking action on the secretary that's there. We said like at least call for a meeting and discussing that he should not do something like that.
Right.
That meeting is still not called. So they are all involved. So that's the only way where people can bring in the change.
And see, interestingly, coming back to this incident that happened in Anjuna, the MLA of Kalangut, when we spoke to him, he told Herald that yes, he admitted, and he very clearly said that he is my man, okay, and he was there, and then he went on to, I won't say directly justify, but indirectly surely justify the action, in the sense that he said, I don't support an assault. For the record, he said, no, I mean there is no scope for an assault, but in the same breath he also said that as far as this guy is concerned, Dr. Inas is concerned, he's a person who's going and carrying out acts which are anti-tourism, and it's affecting tourism and affecting local businesses there. And then, you know, when that happens, obviously people will get frustrated. So he sees this as a frustrated outburst, an assault as a frustrated outburst. Now, whatever be the case, my larger question is that the political involvement in all these issues is extremely strong, and when the person who is assaulted is directly linked to a politician, that itself is, I will no longer call it alarming because it's so obvious. But the point is, where do we go from here? And in the sense that when things like this happen, firstly, just a quick thing on, you've already answered, and you said no, you all don't actually go there. But secondly, do you feel that investigations will be carried out properly given the nature of the politicization that is happening?
I don't think so. We are not going to get justice. How much ever we knock the doors of the government, I don't think so we will get it. I'm telling you this because Dr. Inácio, he is not against this tourism. We love tourism, but tourism, a good tourism. We are not saying them don't play the music. We are not stepping on somebody's stomach. They say those people, they instigated and brought to the Gram Sabha, which they never come. Those ladies who were present over there, they never come. They instigated. This issue is only of 2 to 3 restaurants, I can say. One I can stress on, this is one Purple Martini, or those people, he has instigated everyone, the taxi drivers, tumche pot hoitele, taxi drivers, those Gada people, tumche pot hoitele. We are not stepping on this people who are there. We, in fact, when we go at night at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we go and sit and drink from these gadas because there are no restaurant open at that time. So we go and sit and drink tea, eat omelette, have noodles over there. How can we step in there? We want the tourism, but not on the others' cost.
Correct.
For people, I have got a lady over here who's staying just opposite to Purple Martin. She is 94 and I want her to live till 100, more than 100 also.
Right.
I at least listen to this lady who is suffering over there. And her daughter-in-law is also around across 60. She is also telling you all play the music. She is also not against the music. But they should also think who are suffering. And suffering, you all are taking their good, whatever they are suffering is not good, no? I
See,
don't
the
think-
larger issue of noise pollution, of course, the battle is being fought in the courts and there are very good public spirited people who are doing it. But what is the ground situation there? Of course, we have been reporting it, our reporter has been always there. But what is the daily situation as of now on the ground?
Daily situation is that only once we go and tell them we are a peace lovers, we don't want fight. Even now also we told the police, bring amicably, we'll sit and we'll talk. What is your problem? What is beating, gundagari is doing is not the solution. But that was not done by from the our side police station. Today morning also we had gone. What have you done? Nothing yet.
To stop the loud music, you say?
Loud music, yeah, you can play the music. We are not against the music, but it should not trouble. Whenever we call 112, they say we cannot hear. They are just not even 200, 300 meter away from the music, but they say they can't hear. But the locals can hear and they say just stop it, make it slow. But they are not listening.
Correct. Cecil, before we wind up, in the sense that can we kind of look at a way ahead? I know we are clutching at straws in the wind, but I mean, should there be some kind of a movement across Goa to say that you need to actually depoliticize panchayats, and panchayat elections cannot, though they are not technically fought on party lines, but they should really, politicians should be kept out of panchayat elections completely. I know this is completely radical. Most of Goa will turn around and say, what are we talking about? But until and unless panchayats have become truly autonomous people's bodies and you leave politics out of it, can there be any solution?
I think so. There are some examples of panchayat in Goa where citizens have fought on their basis, where political backing has not been there. There are few panchayat, but the rest of it is all political. And now everything is money. The MLA sees the money, 10 times money involved,
Right.
and he puts up his panel because he wants all the approvals happening in his. And they have their set people that will vote for them.
Right.
Now the bigger picture is here that are people happy? Now we were what Goa was, what it's reaching and what concretization it's turning out to be.
Right.
It's not the Goa that we were born, and I don't know the future generations down the line. I'm a mother myself. Down the line, what will they get?
Right.
And
right.
that's the situation that what I think so I am fighting for is for the children's future.
Right.
So that they get that benefit. But today if people do not realize it and people don't say like, okay fine, enough is enough. Let's now take care of Goa, let's take care of our area, let's bring about a change in our vicinity and let's vote for a new panel.
Right.
Till they do that,
Right.
there is no way that's going to, because government is theirs,
Right.
director of panchayat is theirs, everything is theirs. So where do we see ahead?
That, correct.
Till people, like how we've seen in other countries where people have come out in large numbers and have, like even in Sri Lanka, thrown the president out and whatsoever that is, it's the people that can really make the difference.
Right.
So
Right.
all those
Right.
people who are sitting down, and it's just 4 times in a year that you have to come and attend this Gram Sabhas on a Sunday. Especially educated people, come down. If you are residing here, if you are a resident
Sure.
who has moved into
Sure.
Goa,
Sure.
be part of the
Right.
village committee, because
Right.
till now we have a voice there.
Voice, correct.
So that's all I
Roshan,
have.
before we end up the last word, let it go to you. Is there any way in which we can depoliticize both panchayats and by extension even the Gram Sabha?
See, the only way to depoliticize a Gram Panchayat or a Gram Sabha is the people's mindset. If the
Right.
people do not decide to go against politics in their Gram Panchayat, then they are making a willful choice to remain in that. Okay, the few who are trying to come out also will never get a chance to come out, so it's
Right.
going to be that difficult. But ultimately it's democracy, so it is majority, it's the people.
Sure,
So
sure,
you cannot really do much. And secondly, like what we've all been speaking is that today all our villages are being sold left, right and center. Unfortunately, you have seen even in Sankwal now that Bhutani project.
Of course, yes, yes.
Our panchayat minister is from that area and we've seen what has happened there. There also are so-called, I mean, sorry to use these terms every time, social activists they say, but Rama was there. He was also attacked over there, if you know. He was abused over there.
Right.
So this thing is happening everywhere. Today I am shocked that after such an incident of such level which has happened in the panchayat, first thing is, how come Michael Lobo has taken ownership of that Gajanan Tilve being his man? Second thing, he has not only said he is my man, he has also said that he has done wrong. If this is the case, why isn't Gajanan Tilve arrested today? He has gone to attempt of murder. He should have been arrested and then do whatever investigation you are doing. Today that guy is roaming freely, he is going and he is giving bites everywhere. This is a shame. This is a shame. Now I am part of this group, on their WhatsApp group, and I really am telling you on this public channel, hats off to that group in Anjuna. Till 6 in the morning, when I get up in the morning at around 6:30, when I look at the messages, these guys are awake the whole night. What are they doing? They are attending personally to complaints from old people, going to the venues, taking videos, complaining to 112, sharing the complaint on the group, seeing what more can be done. And what they do, they don't torture anyone. They request. If it is not done, one of the members is the petitioner in the High Court, who is Desmond. Desmond is the petitioner in the High Court for whom all this is happening. He only simply takes all those details and he produces it before the High Court. Now, if any of these people have a problem like Gajanan Tilve and all, go and produce yourself before the High Court. Today you have the biggest opportunity before you to sustain your tourism and also tell the court that you have a problem when the music is not being allowed. So go and fight there, let the court decide and let it come to an amicable solution.
Yeah, we've unfortunately really run out of time, but all very good and very, very valid points. But the bottom line here is that assault has no place in democracy, and institutions like the Gram Sabha and the panchayats are by far the only strong people's organizations that are left with us in our democracy. And there are examples of wonderful work done by panchayats and gram sabhas across the country. In fact, they have revolutionized local self-government. So the institution itself is not bad. There are various heroes all across the country who have made panchayats proud. So the point here is that ultimately, if we need to take back these institutions and give it back in the hands of the people, there has to be a very serious change in mindset, as Cecil Roshan and Anna have all said, that people have to figure out whether they want to keep the reins of their destinies and that of the children in their hands, or surrender it at the altar of politics, which will be nothing worse, because at the end of the day, you are squandering away your future and losing control of whatever powers that you have. I thank all panelists for their riveting discussions and insights, and I hope this conversation goes on. Thank you.